Hello and welcome to China and the New World. I want to talk to you about China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's sometimes called One Belt, One Road. It's sometimes called BRI. It's sometimes called the Modern Silk Road. It's sometimes referred to, in part at least, as the Maritime Silk Road, which is the ocean component of that. What is it? This is a logistics infrastructure project. This is a logistics infrastructure project spanning the globe. The original idea is to reconnect the global island. The global island, for those of you who haven't heard that term before, is Africa, Asia, and Europe, the island of the world, whereas North and South America and Antarctica are more off on their own. The world island is relatively joined together. In different points in history, trade flowed along the Silk Road from east to west, but not on a single road. There were actually many roads which facilitated the import and export of goods from all over the global island, the world island. China, in a forward-thinking way, initiating new trade opportunities as an engine for future global trade, began this project more than a decade ago, the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. An idea that we could increase the logistics infrastructure, better ports, better roads, better rail across the world in order to facilitate increased growth. How is China able to do that? A lot of you at home will know that China raised 800 million people out of poverty. China has been the engine for growth in the world for the last several decades. China has become really good at building ports and skyscrapers and roads and has the largest high-speed rail infrastructure on Earth, bar none. Even if you add all of the high-speed rail from all other countries together, it is still only a fraction of what we have here in beautiful China. I have taken it and I have traveled 350 kilometers per hour. You can take a coin and stand it up in the window. It is so smooth. So, China has all of this infrastructure building capability, and it has multiplied. So why not export that ability to the rest of the world? There are projects that we have talked about before, like the construction of the parliamentary building in Zimbabwe, which was a gift from China to the people of Zimbabwe, constructed near the capital of Zimbabwe as a gift for them to use. The capital of the African Union headquarters, we've talked about that as well. We've also talked about the African Union Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is also a gift from China in Africa. China is not just building gifts around the world, it is also investing and offering loans. IMF and World Bank often offer very high interest loans. They're not credit card high interest loans, but they are high interest enough to make it difficult to pay back the money. And then oftentimes the IMF and World Bank ask these nations to change their internal characteristics, their economics, their governance, to meet the standards which the World Bank makes for these countries, and then uses the debt and the repaying of that debt as leverage to control the internal sovereignty of other nations. When China offers loans, oftentimes they're at 0% interest, or at 1% interest, or at interest, or oftentimes they are forgiven. Recently, in the news, China forgave 23 massive loans on 0 and 1% interest to countries in Africa. But what you might not know is a couple of years ago, in 2020, China forgave or restructured dozens of other loans, not just in Africa, but across the global south. In South Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa, even in Europe and South America, China forgave interest or restructured loans. China is not interested in what the West declares as debt trap diplomacy. What is the Belt and Road, and how does China benefit? China benefits by the increased logistics infrastructure. China is the major exporter of goods to the world, oftentimes called the world's factory. In order to export those goods, it needs excellent ports. It needs excellent roads, excellent rail, in order to get the goods to nations at a cost that is reduced, which allows it facilitates the importation of Chinese goods. So this is a win-win. So for example, Pakistan has a port, a deep water port called Gwadar in southern Pakistan. And China has been helping develop this port since as early as 2001, 2008, huge markers in the construction of a free trade zone, hospitals, schools, vocational educational institutions. There is one institution that is $10 million in Gwadar in Pakistan that China completely donated for free, as long as we're talking about how China does give gifts to the developing world. But this port is connected to rail and roads, which run up into Western China, which allow for the exportation of goods along what is called the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This corridor is basically a logistics and infrastructure alignment, with Pakistan gaining all of the amazing infrastructure and taxes and the ability to help export and import goods, but China gains as well, because goods can flow from this port in South Asia all the way into Western China, alleviating congestion for the exportation and importation of global goods. This benefits all parties. This benefits Pakistan, South Asia, it benefits Africa, it benefits Europe, in that South Asia is connected via the Red Sea to the Mediterranean. So who is winning when China engages in these Belt and Road initiatives around the world? Everybody's gaining. A lot of the BRI projects that China invests in and builds are solar panels or hydroelectric, like the Karat facility in Pakistan, which is a hydroelectric dam that China helped build with Pakistan together, which produces 720 megawatts of electricity, which prevents thousands of tons of CO2 from entering the atmosphere. So who benefits? Even if you're not buying products made in China, you are benefiting. The air is benefiting. We are all benefiting from BRI, whether you want to benefit or not. Now, who else is benefiting? People who are buying products, people who are selling products into South Asia, into Africa. African nations who now can export their products and services more easily. African nations who can now import products for cheaper. The entire world is benefiting. One of the bases for free trade is that it needs growth in order to continue to develop well, to raise all boats. Well, China used to be its own engine of growth for the world, but China is now growing other nations' ability to create a more evenly distributed global growth engine, especially for nations in the global south who are going to benefit the most. All right, we'll talk about this again.